Advantage Chelsea over in the Premier League as they picked up maximum points this past weekend, with Liverpool only picking up the one. What will go on this time around as we head into the final games before Christmas Day? And there's a chance for Chelsea to be top of the table. Can they do it? We'll talk about that and more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another prediction video today. It's all about match day number 17, that's right, in the Premier League, and we'll get to it in a second. If you're new where you've been, smash your subscribe button, you want to stop shop for Premier League, Blackburn Rovers, Wolf Football. We're going to all hear under one Rooski. That's right, advantage Chelsea heading into this one. They played a game more than Liverpool, but they've definitely got the momentum, that's right. But what about the chasing pack? What about Nottingham Forest? Can they actually make top four? We'll take a look at those in a minute. Big shout out to the members. Big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. And what about Pep Guardiola's Man City? They're down to 5th. They could actually be down to 9th this weekend if everything goes against them. We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Big shout out to the members again and patrons. You know who you are. But anyway, what we're going to do now firstly is turn the clock back to this past weekend, revisit those games, and then, of course, look forward to the next round of matches. Alrighty, folks, let's take a look at it. What we're talking about. We're talking about this. That's right. Look at it. Look at it. That's right. Arsenal with a big 0-0. Not really a terrible result for them, really. 0-0 draw at home against an Everton side who are slowly but surely getting the points together and starting to believe in the Sean Dyche ball. Meanwhile, Liverpool could only draw against Fulham 2-2 in the end. They had even had a man sent off. Newcastle with a big win as well. 4-0 win over Rude's boys there. Meanwhile, Ipswich Town, massive win for them over Wolves. Costa managed job as well. Gary O'Neill is out. Victor Pereira, I think, is coming in. So he is done and dusted. What else do we have in here? We have Forest, massive win over Aston. Well, that's the result of the round right there. 2-1 win over Aston Villa to put them. They're in there. They are definitely in there. They look real deal. Getting results home and away. Meanwhile, Brighton lost to Palace. Predicted it, guys. Predicted it. What I didn't predict was Manchester United's comeback from behind victory against Man City, who just look shot to shit. Chelsea could only beat Brentford 2-1 in the end. And then Southampton losing to Spurs 5-0. Again, Costa managed job. Russell Martin is out. It looks like it could be a coin flip between Carlos Cobrahan, Danny Roll, and even the old Norwegian coach linked with that job at the moment. Of course, that could all change this week. I think the Pereira job is gone. He's now at Wolves, but we'll see about that in a minute. Meanwhile, Bournemouth and West Ham took out to a pretty thrilling 1-1. And actually, the first time I actually watched Bournemouth, they were pretty dang good. Entertaining, especially at home. That's, of course, that. The table, though, looks like this. As you see, Liverpool are top by 2 points, but they could be in second spot this weekend. They do have the game in hand. Of course, the Merseyside derby was postponed. Arsenal need a win for sure to get back into the thick of things. And, of course, the Forest could even be in third at the end of this week's Ends drama. Going down, though, Southampton and Wolves have played their wild card and decided to change their manager right here, right now. It's been pretty much at the halfway mark, you would imagine. Ipswich Town hanging on to McKenna. Leicester City also played their trump card. They've, of course, called the shots on that one. But look at that mid-table still. Man United, Newcastle, Spurs in around that mid-table. It is crazy, this division. But a couple wins, and you're up into top 5 right now. This league is crazy. The race for the title might not be as amazing as it could be, but look at the race for top 4 is definitely hot to bloody trot. Also hot to bloody trot is the Super Brew. Jimmy Pastoni with a big 9-pointer this week to top the charts, with Virus in second spot with the Blind Squirrel in third. Then the chasing pack with 8 points there. Eddie Video Star. We got Clasherman in there. Then Vinny Hong, Jimmy Wotton, Benny Wise. Also those guys in the mixer there. Myself, not great this weekend. Not great at all. Very, very bad. In fact, woeful. I don't even know where the heck I am. I'm down. There I am. Oof. Grim stuff for me. Don't even look at it. But very good company. Pressel Hinterland, Ultra Over Murat, Blue Blood Legend. All's good familiar faces. Took a massive dent, though, in the old rankings. Barcelonista now is the number 1 man with 153.5 points. Actually level with Dream Marley. Then, of course, big movers. Vinny Hong's into the top 5 there. Moves and shakers. I'm down at 47th. Down 3 spots, not great, but in good company again. Do appreciate the support on the channel. If you see your name in there, any of them, Make sure you smash that like, smash your subscribe, guys. I do appreciate the love. And all the way down to 138. The prediction league is wide open. This is the link if you want to get involved. It is 100% free. I look forward to those next round of games. And they're coming at you right here, right now. Look at them. Absolutely look at them. Some cracking matches, including the first, which will kick us all off. It's Villa against Man City. Is that going to be another defeat for Man City? We'll take a look at it in a minute. What else do we have on the agenda? I know the other highlights. Spurs against Liverpool. That'll be a cracker. And then we have Boxing Day right around the corner. So a crazy couple of days. It begins now. The madness begins now. But who will be top of the tree coming into Christmas Day? Let's start with, of course, a trip to Villa Park as Aston Villa take on Manchester City. Of course, Villa under Unai Emery, 7th for the table, 25 points for the campaign. Just 3 wins in the last 6 up against Man City. 1 win in the last 6, 5th in the table, 27 points for the campaign. Villa, of course, have played Man City 52 times since 1994. Just 8 wins for Villa, 34 wins for Man City, 10 draws between the two sides. Like I said, Villa could leapfrog Man City with a win this time around. Of course, last time they played each other at Aston Villa, it was a 1-0 win for Villa. In fact, Villa back-to-back games at this venue, unbeaten against Man City. So they'll fancy the chances to get something from this game. However, morale might have taken a knock with a shock loss to Forest this past weekend. 2-1 win for Forest. Man City on the back of that 2-1 loss to Manchester United, with the last win being against Nottingham Forest back on match number 14 at the start of the month. The odds for this one, Villa 9-4 for the victory, 11-10 is your City, 11-4 is the draw. The bookie's still back in City to wake up and smell the coffee. I don't think so. I am leaning on the fence here for another points drop for Man City. It doesn't really give Villa any advantage, but it does give the chasing pack an advantage to maybe add some more misery on Man City. So 2-2 in the end at Villa Park. I'm going with it. Meanwhile, Brentford against Forest in a good match. This one's going to be a tight one. Of course, Forest under Nuno Espirito Santo have been phenomenal this season. Brentford under Thomas Frank have been solid, especially at home. This match coming in a chat at the Brentford Community Stadium. Of course, Thomas Frank's boys are 11th with 23 points for the campaign. Just 2 defeats in the last 6. Against Forest, who've won 3 wins of the last 4 matches. Again, 28 points for the campaign. Now, they've played each other 23 times since 2005. 11 wins Brentford, 7 wins Forest. There's been 5 draws between the two sides. The last time they played at this venue was a 3-2 win for Brentford back in January 2024. Brentford have won back-to-back at this venue against Forest. In fact, they're unbeaten against Forest over the last 6. Brentford, though, on the back of that 2-1 loss to Chelsea. Forest, though, picking up that massive win against Aston Villa. Back-to-back wins, of course, Man United in that past 2 games. The odds for this one, Brentford 5-4 for the victory, 2-1 is your Forest, 13-5 is the draw. We're going 3-1 win, though. Brentford at home, they are something else. So I'm going to give Brentford the win. Forest taking the L, unfortunately. But long may that journey continue. I'd love to see Forest back in Europe at any shape or form. Meanwhile, we got McKenna's boys up against Eddie Howe's boys at Portman Road. That's right, Ipswich under Kieran McKenna, 18th for the table, 12 points for the campaign. Just 1 win in the last 5 up against Newcastle under Eddie Howe, 12th for the table, 23 points for the campaign. Coming at you at Portman Road. Played to the 12 times since 1993, 2 wins Ipswich, 6 wins Newcastle, 4 draws between the two sides. Of course, last time I played at this venue was a 3-1 win for Ipswich back in April 2017. But that was their one and only win in the last 6 against the Geordies. Ipswich, though, on the back of that 2-1 win on the road to Wolves. Of course, Costa managed job. They've been better performances, I think, by Ipswich, and only losing by the odd goal. Newcastle on the back of that 4-0 win over Leicester. That was at home, their last away match. 4-2 loss to Brentford. In fact, their last away victory was at Forest back in November, of course. This week, though, Newcastle do have Brentford. Of course, I should have kind of talked about it earlier, glossed over it. So both Newcastle and Brentford busy with Catabella Cup action, actually playing tonight, where Newcastle are expected to win that game at St James's Park, but resources will be spent. We're looking at the odds here. 50-4 is your Ipswich, 11-8 on is your Geordies, 11-4 is the draw. Going for a shock here, guys. Going with Ipswich Town to take the 3 points. They've been better. They've been definitely better. Newcastle will be preoccupied, and a win for them over Brentford to get them through to the semi-finals will get. There'll be some parties this week in St James's Park. They'll be celebrating a berth in the semi-finals, in my eyes. And of course, that will take a bit of a pinch on their form in the Premier League. So 2-1 win Ipswich. Meanwhile, West Ham United up against Brighton. Come at you over at London Stadium. West Ham under Julian Lopetegui. Back-to-back games now without a defeat. 14th for the table, 19 points for the campaign. Maybe a bit of belief now in West Ham. Up against Brighton under Fabian Husler. 4 games now without a win. But a bit of a dent in confidence for the visitors. Now, they played each other 19 times since 2004. West Ham winning 4 of them. 7 wins for Brighton. There's been 8 draws between the two sides. West Ham sit 14th with 19 points. Brighton are 9th. 24 points, just 5 points separate the two sides. Now, the last time played at this venue It was a 0-0 draw for both sides back in January 2024. Yeah, it's very split between these two sides. Actually, it's not that split. It's actually Brighton have only lost once against West Ham in the last 6, both home and away. Brighton on the back of that 3-1 loss to Crystal Palace at home. Their last victory was actually on the road, a 2-1 win against Bournemouth. Speaking of Bournemouth, West Ham's last match was also a draw against Bournemouth. Of course, but last time they played at home, they did come out on top with a big, important victory over Wolves. The odds for this one, we're looking at West Ham 90-10 for the victory, 30-10 is your Brighton, 13-5 is the draw. Brighton are on a bit of a slump right now. This is a good time for that, a good opportunity for them to get back on track. And it does feel like it could be a draw, but I'm backing West Ham to have just enough momentum. I thought they were resolute against a tricky Bournemouth side. They were very good. I was very impressed with Bournemouth. But they got a goal. And I think, I think their tails are up right now. And they need to ride this momentum to get the points to be to at least drag themselves into mid-table. So 2-0 win for West Ham. Meanwhile, Palace up against Arsenal. I think they're playing each other twice this week. That's right, they're playing each other in the Cup as well. Oh, wow. Of course, Crystal Palace under Oliver Glasner. They finally got some form at long last. 15 for the table, 16 points for the campaign, 58% form. They're, of course, unbeaten in the last 5 matches, drawn 3 of that last 5. Up against Arsenal under Mikel Arteta. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6. They're third, 30 points for the campaign. So the difference between the two sides is just one defeat. One defeat for Palace compared to Arsenal. Besides that, they're drawing and winning, and they're playing very stubborn. So this is going to be a tough old game at Selhurst Park, which they've played 28 times since 1994. 4 wins Palace, 16 wins Arsenal, 8 draws between the two sides. And of course, the last time they played at this very venue was a 1-0 win for Arsenal back in August 2023. Arsenal have actually won 4 in the bounce against them, and again, they are playing. There's a dress rehearsal tonight, guys. But that dress rehearsal is taking place at the Emirates, of course, where I think I've got Arsenal to win that game. I don't know. I think I did. I think I have Arsenal to win that game. And, of course, the bookies are backing them as well. This game, though, coming at you at Selhurst Park is completely different. Palace have been very good of late, unbeaten in the last handful of games. The last defeat was at this venue against Fulham, but since then they picked up a draws against Villa, Newcastle, beating Ipswich, drawing with Man City, beating Brighton. So difficult games. They've come up against opposition and they've got something out of it. Meanwhile, Arsenal have got back-to-back clean sheets, but of course tripped up against the likes of Fulham and Everton. So it's not great form for Arsenal, but it's a bit wobbly. The odds here 92 is your Palace, 5-3 on is your Arsenal, 3-1 is your draw. I think I might have been torn because I've got a soft spot for Palace at the moment. But I just think Arsenal will have too much quality in the end. It's definitely a possibility that Crystal Palace get Arsenal on one of these sort of off days and get something out of it. But I just think, realistically, opportunity knocks here for Arsenal to really get themselves their teeth stuck into at least second spot here. But breathing down the necks, or actually in advantage right now, it is Chelsea. They go to Everton. Coming to at Goodison Park on the 22nd of December. That's a Sunday. Sean Dyche's Everton are 16th for the table, 15 points for the campaign, just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Chelsea under Enzo Marquesca, second in the table, 34 points for the campaign, 6 wins on the bounce. 100% form. They might even be more than that. They played each other 73 times since 1994. 16 wins Everton, 34 wins Chelsea, 23 draws between the two sides. The last time they played at Goodison Park, it was a 2-0 win for Everton. In fact, Chelsea not the greatest against Everton at Goodison Park, just winning once of the last 3, and that was only by a 1-0. In fact, they are a bit of a sticky wicket, Everton to Chelsea. Everton winning 2, and it's actually been 2 wins, 2 defeats, and 2 draws between each other's sides, both home and away. Everton on the back of that 0-0 draw against Arsenal, of course, back-to-back clean sheets for them. In fact, what we're looking at here, 1, 2, 3, 4 clean sheets at the last 5. They've been proven to be quite tough at the back, our Everton. However, when they let goals in, they let goals in, losing 4 to United not too long ago. Chelsea, though, on the back of a 2-1 win over Brentford, of course, big wins. They are conceding goals. They've conceded, what we're looking at, 1, 4, 5, 6 goals in the last 4 games combined. So a bit wobbly at the back still for Chelsea, but they're good form right now. 4-1 is your Everton, 13-8 on is your Chelsea, 16-5 is your draw. Advantage now. Now, if they win this game here and Liverpool lose this game, Chelsea go into the Christmas Day top of the charts. I've got them winning this game, 2-0 win. Everton have been good, resolute, but the goals has also been a problem for Everton at the moment. So 2-0 win, Chelsea. Right, as of right now, they top the table. Wow. Meanwhile, Fulham up against Southampton, coming at Craven Cottage. Southampton using Simon Rusk as the manager. They might be a new coach coming Boxing Day. I don't think there'll be a new coach for this match at Craven Cottage. Fulham under Marco Silva. I might be wrong, might be proven wrong. Fulham under Marco Silva doing all right now. 8th for the table, 24 points for the campaign. Just one defeat in the last 6 up against Southampton, who've got bloody, whatchamacallit, Camaraborough Cup action here in a second. Anyway, Southampton under Simon Rusk, 8% form for them right now. Winners, I don't even know. They've got 5 points for the season, 20 for the table. They played Fulham 20 times since 2001. 6 wins Fulham, 7 wins Southampton. 7 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at this venue was a 2-1 win for Fulham, who won back-to-back over Southampton in the last time they were in the same division, which was 2022-23 season. Fulham, though, on the back of that 2-2 draw against Liverpool, where they picked up points against Arsenal and Liverpool. So good run, and Spurs. So good run of form for Fulham against some heavy wickets. Meanwhile, the Saints have conceded 11 goals in the last 3 games combined. And the last time they were at home, the 2 games, the worst offenders were at home. They were okay against Aston Villa. Of course, Southampton have a distraction with Liverpool in the Carabao Cup, where I have boldly predicted a win for Southampton. So they might do that. They might just show up for that game. Of course, a new Simon Rusk basically has that game and this game as an audition to kind of say, hey, you know what, I can actually do this. But of course, the odds right here, right now, we're looking at Fulham are 50-21 on overwhelming favourite. 6-1 is your Southampton, 50-4 is the draw. Going with Fulham to win this one, 2-1 win. So they might have a bit of joy in the cup, but I think they're going to lose this game against Fulham, who have just been resolute. Meanwhile, Leicester under Ruud van Nistelrooy up against Wolves and Victor Pereira. Am I calling now? Is it officially announced? I don't know. But if it isn't announced, it looks like Tim Jenkins will be at the helm. So we'll see who shows up for the game on Sunday, the 22nd of December. Leicester under Ruud van Nistelrooy, just 1 win in the last 6. They are 17th for the table, 14 points for the campaign. Against Wolves, 19th for the table, 9 points for the campaign, 4 defeats on the spin. Now, they played each other 31 times since 1993. 12 wins Leicester, 7 wins Wolves. 12 draws between the two sides. Now, the last one they played at this venue was a 2-1 win for Leicester back in April 2023. Leicester won back-to-back last time that they were in the same division. Leicester on the back of that 4-0 loss to Newcastle. Wolves losing to Ipswich most recently. Of course, so need a response and fast. 6-4 is your Leicester, 7-4 is your Wolves. 12-5 is the draw. The bookies can't really decide on this one. I think I've gone Leicester here. 2-0 win. I think if it is Tim Jenkins taking this role, for sure it'll be a win for Leicester. But if it is Pereira, who has limited time really to stamp an influence on this game, but yeah, I think I'm sticking safe on that one. Meanwhile, Manchester United go up against a talented Bournemouth side. Very impressed with them against West Ham. Ruben Amorim's Manchester United 13th for the table, 4 wins the last 6. They got 22 points for the campaign up against Bournemouth, who are 6th. I say 6th. 25 points for the campaign, going under the radar, extremely so. 58% form, winning, actually unbeaten in the last 4. But it's the 14 times since 2005, 9 wins United, 3 wins Bournemouth, 2 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at this venue, it was a 3-0 win for Bournemouth. That's right. They did they did the double, but they took 4 points off United last season. Of course, but with that statement win over United at Old Trafford. Manchester United, though, I've got the tails up, of course, with the 2-1 win over Man City. They're also in Carabao Cup action against Spurs, of course. So we'll see what happens in that game. Bournemouth, of course, all eyes on this one, all focus on this one. We're coming into this on the back of that 1-1 draw against West Ham. The odds for this one, we're looking at Man United 5-4 on for the victory, 60-5 is your Bournemouth, 29-10 is your draw. This game was at the other venue, I think, at Bournemouth. I think we'll have a good game on our hands, but I think it's going to be one-sided here. We go 3-1 win, Manchester United, taking the 3 points, and again, breathing some life into the Red Devil machine. And then we go to absolute banger of a game. All eyes on this one. Spurs against Liverpool on Sunday at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Spurs under Ange Postecoglou, 42% form for them right now. They are 10th with 23 points for the campaign. Up against Liverpool and Arne Slot. They are top of the table, 36 points for the campaign. And they, of course, won, I don't know how many games on the bounce. They're unbeaten in at least the last 6. Now, they played each other 67 times since 1993. 15 wins Spurs, 34 wins Liverpool, 18 draws between the two sides. Now, the last time they played at this venue was a 2-1 win for Tottenham back in September 2023. However, that was the one and only win for Spurs against Liverpool in the last 6 matches. Spurs, the one on the back of that 5-0 win over Southampton, will take on United, Manchester United, at this very venue this coming week in the Cup, where they're expected to beat Manchester United. Meanwhile, Liverpool also in Cup action up against Southampton, where they're expected to cruise. Everybody else predicting Liverpool, of course, to cruise. I'm going to stick my neck out on that one. The odds here, 10-3 is your Spurs, 4-3 on is your Liverpool, 3-1 is your draw. Whatever happens in this game, whether I got it right or wrong, I do expect a thriller on our hands. Go with 5 goals in it, and I'm going to go stick my neck out again, Spurs. 3-2 win, which will make a torrid week for Liverpool. Not against Liverpool. I'd love to see them win the title. I definitely would, especially if it's at the expense of Manchester City. But I'm going to go with Spurs here, 3-2 win. Pressure is on. Ange Postelegros's boys. If they can pick up a win against United and then follow that up with a win over Liverpool, they'll be back in all good glory. That's, of course, the link to the Super Brew. Get involved, of course. We'll be back, of course, on Boxing Day. And that also will put Chelsea top of the table, I might add. So that results there puts Chelsea top heading into Christmas. But again, Liverpool have that game in hand. We look forward to seeing you when we come back. Of course, smash your subscribe, smash the like. Catch you later, guys and girls. But until then, have a good Christmas. See you later. But until then, we're done.